you expose it?
Cover, it got a shield, and inside the shield is a skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
That's the Great Seal of the state of California. Two people on a horse, and the Iron Cross. And on page 415, the Iron Cross is the Templar Cross.
Yes, it is.
And the Templar Cross is also under the name of the Iron Cross, the Cross of Prussia, the War Cross of France. They're all the same.
No, it's a bunch of symbols. But I mean, I'm just asking you, that's interesting. So what is the point of the call? You started out by saying you were shot, and now you've got this book. I mean, why were they shooting you?
Well, I had gotten into an altercation with a couple of people, and the dude went to his truck.
Well, listen. Why don't you shoot some video of this and put it on YouTube? I really appreciate your call. We always get some interesting calls like that, which you can't confirm one way or the other. Just expose it. Scan it, put it on the internet. I don't know how you know that they came to shoot you and you think it's because of this, but you got an altercation with somebody. Pretty wild story. Paul in Texas. Paul, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Alex. Thank you for the beautiful segue you gave me earlier. Okay, so from what I understand, the plan here is to use all legal, nonviolent means to restore our republic, correct?
Yes, to get our basic liberties recognized and to kick the criminal cabal out of D.C.
Okay, well then, enough talk, let's do it. I propose an emergency legal fund money bomb that you can set up. I will give you today $1,000 to set this off, because right now there are so many freedom-loving lawyers and investigators who would dearly like to join this cause, but they may be in a position where they need to get funded. Now, you reach millions of people, Alex. For a measly $1,000, if we can get 1 million people to donate $1,000, like I'll do now, that'll give you $1 billion war chest. Now, people like to be on the side of the winning team. The reason why I don't think you're finding a lot of people in government standing up and choosing the right side is because they don't believe the right side's going to be the winning team. At least
that's why
right
you
now.
morally have to decide to do the right thing, even if the odds are against you. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I understand that, but, you know, people are human. I think if we show them that we are the winning team, you're going to find a lot of rats jump in the ship.
Well, that's already started. Let me listen. I agree with what you're saying, but I am not the best manager. I mean, I'm decent, and we got a lot of stuff going on here, and I can barely, keep 30-something people going in the right direction. They're great folks, but that's a full-time job. I wouldn't know how to collect that much money. I wouldn't know how to deploy it. I mean, what legal funds? I mean, so we get some good court rulings. Sometimes you do get the courts to do the right thing, but that takes years to battle out. And on top of it, we have this big, corrupt, tyrannical military-industrial complex run by foreign banks to enforce it. And they're telling Congress we're going to launch wars without your approval. So they're already doing a bunch of illegal stuff and ignoring court rulings. Obama came out today, Paul Watson wrote an article, and basically implied they may just ignore the Supreme Court. I guess they've gotten the word that they overturned it. It's not going to come out until June, but the fact that he's starting to talk about maybe ignoring the Supreme Court, that's in my stack of news. It's at Infowars.com. Really shows, I think, the Supreme Court may have done the right thing. Again, we are the biggest anti-New World Order operation out there. That said, we're ragtag. We only reach 15 million people a week. Most of those are sporadic. I do a money bomb to hire some reporters to get the equipment we need, and I raise $400,000. I mean, sir, we use about the lowest grade switchers we can, and we're trying to upgrade them right now, and they cost like $35,000. We use, I just don't have the money. And people, I don't think 1 million people would give me $1,000. If 1 million people would give me $1,000, I would put it in a tax-free foundation, publicly with public books, and I could guarantee that 95% of that much money would actually be spent on legal defenses and things. But then we wouldn't pick every perfect legal thing. And people would say, oh, look, this lawyer they picked was bad, or this was... So see, that's how they get the public's been trained to not get involved themselves and then nitpick anybody that is involved. But I mean, that is a great plan. But I estimate if we formulated a plan, created something like that, because I've thought of similar things, a little bit of this is cowardice. I say I'm not a coward, but at a subconscious level, I tend to hold myself back sometimes, not even out of fear of death, mainly laziness, because then I would try to do it all just right, and it's like, I don't want to take that on. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like I've already taken on so much that I do too much, so when I'm on air, it's not as effective if I did take off more time or didn't do the nightly news, you know. But then I am overall... Again, I won't talk about myself all day, but then we start becoming the focus of the debate. It's like trying to tell Ron Paul what he should do. Well, I mean, sure, he makes mistakes, but he's the one in the arena doing a great job with a 30-year track record. I told folks they were going to steal the election from him, but I said still support him to inject real ideas. Now people see that. He really did win Iowa. He won Maine. They stole it. After that, he really started losing because now folks thought, well, he can't win. I'll just go with somebody else. So now he's fading off, but staying in to inject real issues. So this is a process. My main mission, I mean, look, we get more traffic than MSNBC.com and CNBC.com combined. Go look it up. Compare it to Alexa or wherever you wish. We get more traffic than Limbaugh and Glenn Beck's sites put together. But all those guys make, I don't know, Limbaugh probably 20 times the money I make, or more. Glenn Beck 10 times, maybe 20. I think he make. I mean, So again, we don't have the big money support. We do just have the people out there. We are, in the true grassroots sense, as big as a Glenn Beck or a Rush Limbaugh. In fact, globally, much bigger. But we can barely, you know, have a secure place for me to live and pay the crew halfway decent and you know, do everything else. So again, it becomes a whole discussion. I agree we should probably do more. I just can't do it. When I get off the air here, I am going to be exhausted for about 30 minutes. So, I mean, I just don't think at the end of the day I have to do everything. Plus, I don't think we could raise $1 billion, sir.
Well, delegate. I mean, if you don't have the time because you're busy, I understand that. We all have, you know, X number of things we need to do, and there's only 24 hours in the day. But if we're going to do this legally, we have to do this. I mean, you can't expect any corrupt organization or group to investigate themselves. I mean, it's pointless.
Well, in 60 seconds, give me a snapshot of your strategy.
Well, I think, first of all, we should, I don't know any other choice but to use you as the hub of this, because you're already in the front line here. But we need to find out how many people are willing to participate in this. Who are the legal people? There's a police officer who's investigating Obama's birth certificate, doing a fantastic job. Well, why has he got to just work completely on his own in a vacuum? How many other people like that are willing and able to assist in this program, but they don't know where to start because there's no way we can group? You know, the enemy here is already well organized, well funded, and well grouped. This is a very difficult job to do, but the job still nevertheless has to be done. Not only do we have the right to do it, we have the obligation to do it, and we've got it in writing. We have the American Constitution that demands we do this. We've got an NDAA bill which gives us the right to go get them. They've even got the FEMA camps ready for us to go put them in.
I hear you. We'll have to talk about it more. It's an intriguing idea. I just think if I did it all right, I could probably raise, if I put a plan together and demonstrated, I could probably raise $50 million. But money isn't everything. People power is everything. We'll be back. More calls straight ahead.
You've got it. This transmission is coming to you.
All right, this is some heavy knowledge that I'm going to dish out and lay on you right now.
All right, You are go.
One reason that I've never grown this operation really big, and I could have, and launched a lot of business systems to fund it, is I've always instinctively known that if I get too big, I can't stop infiltration. And take Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong selling marijuana pipes all over the country, making tens of millions of dollars of Cheech and Chong fame, his son running it in a whole other state from him. Totally legal, but a few counties where it's illegal. The feds tried for not one, not two, not three, but 4 years to order and have it shipped to that county. Because then they could claim it was some interstate commerce thing, that it was going across state lines to commit a crime in another state, making it federal. They never did it. So the feds got one of their operatives employed at their facility to mail the bong, the weed head pipe, to that state and city. And then they had a kept jury put him in jail for it. Now, regardless of what you think of marijuana, the point is that's really illegal. It's a setup. And I could go on for hours with confirmed cases of where this is done. This is standard operating procedure. Now, obviously, if I'm trying to stay out of trouble with these people, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So it's a balance, and I just go with my gut, go with my discernment. You know, I say the hardcore things that have to be said and leave it up to God. But I trust in God, but tie up my camel, as the old Bedouin saying says. Another writer in more recent times said, pray to God, but row away from the rocks. Was that Hunter S. Thompson? Okay, so I can't manage anymore. People are always telling me what I need to do and all this, and a lot of it's good ideas. It's just that at a certain point, folks, it's up to you. And it was Hunter S. Thompson said that. But let me lay the heavy knowledge on you. Here's the definition of strategy. We'll put it on screen. Just scroll down for me so I can read the definition. Thank you. The science and art of employing political, economic, psychological, military forces of a nation or group of nations to afford the maximum support to adopted policies in peace or war. A variety of or the instance of use of strategy. A careful plan or method. Now, I use strategy. Doesn't mean my strategy is the best. The enemy uses stratagem. Put stratagem on screen, please. An artifice or trick in war, deceiving and outwitting the enemy. A cleverly contrived trick or scheme for gaining an end. Skill in ruse or trickery. Now, here's the data I'm about to give you right now. How you become corrupt as a nation is to begin to use stratagem against another enemy that's using stratagem. It's like using the Ring of Mordor. You always end up using it against your own people. You use lies, deception, evil. You argue, well, camouflage is a lie, you see? And then it expands on from there. And in that discussion is how do you fight evil without becoming evil? Because obviously you got to use some deception, like camouflage. That is a deception. In fact, when it was first employed in World War I, folks thought it was really immoral. Because they said it would lead to what we have now, becoming evil, guarding the truth with a bodyguard of lies. It never works. And if you look at our government, everything it does is a stratagem, and the training is to fight an enemy. So we are the enemy. The government has made us the enemy because the government's run by foreign banks. It's not our government. You understand? This is not our government, and it treats us like the enemy because it's the enemy.